You know, you can read about the protocols as much as you want, but until you actually come here and see it firsthand and do it, you don't really understand the gravity of what we're asking people to do. Without the establishment of the COVID protocols that we've done for ExxonMobil, the Stena Drilling would not be able to continue work. And of course now we have the DrillMax on location in Guyana also working for Exxon. Similar protocols are in place for the other ships, such as the IceMax and the Fourth. Because these protocols exist and we're using them, and we're strict, we're being allowed to work in various locations.
Due to the success of what we'd had running the hotels through Aberdeen and transporting and flying out of Glasgow, it was deemed that we wanted to help the client with enabling more personnel for the project, not just the Stena personnel, but for the client personnel in Guyana.
Since the staging facility started in June of last year, we've mobilised 2,157 persons offshore to Guyana through this single facility. They're screened before they enter the facility, both for security and for COVID-wise. The medics will administer a lateral flow test, an antigen test, which will screen them for COVID-19. If that is shown as clear, then they'll be admitted in to complete their induction paperwork. Then they will come through to check in immigration paperwork, so we check passports, visa status, etc. Then they'll receive their room key and then they'll move on for their full site induction. After their induction, they can make their way to their rooms and that's them settled in for 14 days.
The guys get temperature checked twice daily, so 10 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. If the guys have got any problems at all throughout the day, they've got our number. We've got mobile phones and they can contact us at any point. We're here 24/7.
It's just like an extension to their workplace. Coming here is no different than going to the place of work. There's rules, etc. Rules have to be followed. And if you break the rules, it's like everywhere else, there's consequences to those rules being broken.
We've got a 382 room hotel here, so we've split that into two groups, an orange group and a green group. Both groups are kept completely separate. We have barriers and strict one-way systems, so the groups have got no opportunity to come in contact with each other at any point.
When we looked at the hotel, the security team that we selected had actually worked with that hotel previously. So they were aware of the layout, they were aware of the staff members, they knew the team. It was then trying to introduce the security team to our additional measures that we put in place with the additional security cameras, the fencing that we put in.
They pre-order their food through a QR code, and then they have a 10-minute allocated window as per their room number to come down through the one-way system, collect their meal at the servery, and then take that back to their room to consume it.
At day 7, we PCR test them, which is the throat and nasal swab, and that also gets carried out again on day 12. So they require 2 negative tests to get into Guyana. We perform that test, get all the stuff ready for the labs, and we get the lab results collated and put into envelopes, which is the travel documents that these guys need to take with them when they go away.
If you can get out for a stroll with the guys for an hour or two a day, it makes a huge difference. Just having a little bit of a chat, a little bit of crack, it makes a huge difference to your mental health, I think.
When it comes to crew change day, the coaches will arrive on site. The coaches are sanitised prior to arrival. The drivers are screened. However, the participants have no contact with the driver throughout the process. So they load and unload their own bags, they board the coaches, which take them direct to a private in-flight centre, which is where they catch their charter flight, which is solely dedicated for the purpose of the crew change direct to Guyana. The air crew will arrive on site on the participants day 12 and they will get PCR tested along with the participants themselves. So only upon receipt of a negative PCR will the air crew be cleared to travel, and they are included in the request of the Guyanese authorities for entry into Guyana.
A lot of things that I don't think anybody's been involved in before. The logistical side of what we do down here, moving personnel from the hotels to the in-flight centre to Stansted for the flight.
We've established what's known as the gold standard of protocols. In fact, our protocols were given by the hotel to the government to follow. You know, we have a duty of care to our people. We don't want COVID offshore. Our goal is a COVID-free operation. Nobody's really doing what we're doing.